Okay, thank you all for joining me. Today I'm going to, there we go. Some people can hear me. Great. That's fantastic. Okay, today I welcome all our new subscribers who have joined me on LinkedIn, and I thank you for that. We reach out to people and connect on LinkedIn. I've got a huge following on LinkedIn. I've got over 6,000 business analysts in the United Kingdom in my network, so it's the right place to network. I've also got 2 closed groups for our customers and for our gold customers. And today I want to break down what is it that you will get with our bronze, with our silver, our gold, and our impact mentoring. Wonderful. So everybody wants to, elevate their career. You want to move forward in your career. You spent a lot of time at school and then at university, getting diplomas and certificates maybe after that, then gaining some work experience. And now, once you've got about 6 months experience as a business analyst, maybe 1 or 2 certificates, you want to actually move forward in your career. So this is for business analysts. You start off as an intern or a junior BA, gaining some experience. Then you become a business analyst, then a senior business analyst, a lead business analyst, a principal business analyst. And so you elevate through your career. The more theoretical knowledge you gain, the practical experience you gain, the more value you will have at your company that employs you. And if you want to elevate your career and then move from a junior to a senior and then earn more money because you're more valuable, it's not going to happen if you just stay with your existing company. In other words, if you sign up with a company, you sign their employment contract, and you work there for about 5 years, you will add much more value to the company. And the reason is because you start understanding the industry that the company works in. Maybe it's in telecommunications or finance or oil or gas. You add more value because you gain more knowledge on the industry. But then secondly as well, you understand the company, the vision statement, the mission statement, the customers, the stakeholders, be they business stakeholders, people in the project team, or subject matter experts, or even vendors or customers. Once you start knowing the company and the value and and their products and their services, then you can add a lot more value as a business analyst to the company. Now, you would expect to get a bit more recognition after 2 or 3 years of upskilling and adding value. And if you go to your line manager and say, Mr. Line Manager, can I please have a salary increase? And it says, what were you expecting? Well, how about 75% increase? That ain't going to happen. We've done some research, and last year in the United Kingdom, salaries went up by less than 5%. So that is not the way to go year on year and try and go through your career. If you want to receive recognition and increase your salary, unfortunately, you're going to have to find another job. So if you're earning, say, 35K at the moment, you probably get 36 or 37 or 38K. But if you were to leave, you could ask for 45K. So that's the way that you can elevate your career and start earning more. Now, leaving your current role in your nice, secure comfort zone and moving to another role is always a daunting task. There are lots of things that you need to consider. You need to consider, what type of jobs you're going to apply for, what job title, what roles, what responsibilities will you have. And then you also need to look at other things like your CV and your LinkedIn profile and your application process to apply for jobs. Then you also need to figure out, where are all of these jobs? Because if you don't look through all the jobs available, then you're selling yourself short. If you're only going to look at about 20 or 30% of all the jobs on offer, then you might not secure your dream role. And that's, after all, what you want to do. You want to secure your dream role, something that you really, really like to do. And therefore, you're going to be good at it. If you need to do things, roles and responsibilities, and you don't really like it, you're not going to perform really at your peak. So you want to go through a lot of different jobs, see their job description, and then only apply for those jobs that you can do at least 80% of the work for. So in other words, if you only look and you find 100 jobs, and through that you only find 2 or 3 jobs that you're suitable for, that's not going to cut it. So during your job application process, a lot of people think, well, they want to secure a new role. But that's what you want. I look at it differently. I look at what you need. What do you need to be able to secure that role, sign the contract, and get a starting date? And what you actually need is you need to secure a good few interviews. That's what you need. These days, you can't secure a role without the interview. So you break it down into steps. Instead of saying, I need to secure a new role, you break it down into steps. The first step you need to complete is to prepare yourself. And to prepare yourself, you must have a good, deep look at your CV. Your CV these days shouldn't be more than 2 pages. I mean, I have 39 years experience. I've had 25 different jobs, 15 of them contracts, 8 of them in the UK. And my CV is 2 pages long. So if I can do it, you've got no excuse. My LinkedIn profile, however, is 14 pages long. And this is where I put all the information, all the roles, the responsibilities, the achievements, and all the experience that I've gained in the past. Now, once you've got your CV and your LinkedIn profile ready, you're about ready to apply for a job. Now you've got to find all the jobs available and search through those, and then have a good technique on how to apply for those roles. You know, your strategy can't be, well, I'll just look on LinkedIn and then I'll upload my CV, my 7-page CV, you know, that's not really written well. And I'm just going to find jobs and just do one-click apply, easy apply, and just apply for a lot of roles. That is not going to secure you a lot of interviews. That is not a good strategy, although a lot of my prospects, when I do get on the 30-minute free career strategy session, this is what they tell me they've been doing. They just do one-click apply or easy apply, and I have a look at their CV and I'm like, no, your CV is not going to secure you an interview. Or I look at their LinkedIn profile and there's nothing. There's not even a picture, not even contact details should somebody want to get hold of you. So this is what we cover in our bronze mentoring. Our bronze has got one goal, and that goal is to secure a few interviews quickly. Now, we break down our bronze mentoring into 3 distinct training modules. The first one is BAM Network, and there we show you all about the hidden job market, because still today 70% of business analyst jobs in the UK are secured through the hidden job market. So during BAM Network, you learn everything about the hidden job market, how to set yourself up for it, and then how to take maximum advantage and tap into that very lucrative avenue of securing interviews. Then we go and we look at your LinkedIn profile, because ideally you'd have a really, really professional, completed LinkedIn profile. Let's go through the job application process. So now you've found a really nice role and you want to apply for that role. How does that actually work? So besides doing an easy apply or one-click apply, you can register on a site like Indeed. And on something like that, you can complete your profile, upload your CV, and then find suitable roles. Now, when you find a suitable role, you need to apply for that. And usually, most of the time, you attach your CV and you apply for the role for consideration for an interview. So what do you want? What is your goal when you apply for a job? So, well, I know what you need. You need the recipient of your application to contact you, either by phone or by email, and have a discussion about the role that you've applied for. They're going to ask you about the job description. Can you actually do all the work that's required in the job description? If not, the call ends there. Then they are going to want to know, what is your notice period? Do you have a 2 months or a 3 months notice period? Perhaps their valued client is not prepared to wait that long for their new starter. And then they're going to say, may we have your permission to put your application forward for consideration for an interview? The reason for that is sometimes a company asks 2 or 3 recruitment agencies to go and source them resources for consideration for an interview. And if you get put forward by one agency and by another agency, and the company gets 2 applications from different agencies, they're just going to throw it out right away, because now there's going to be a battle about, should you be successful in your application, who would they need to pay a finding fee or a commission to? And that's always a wrangle, so they'll just throw you out. So once the recruiter has contacted you and discussed this with you, then they will put you forward for an interview. So that's what you want when you apply for a role. You want them to contact you. So in other words, on your LinkedIn, on your CV, right at the top, you need to have your phone number and your LinkedIn URL, and as well your address. So not your actual physical street address, but just the city that you stay in or the suburb that you stay in. Don't even give a postcode. Just say London or Middlesbrough or Portsmouth or whatever it is, and so that they know your proximity to the office. Because even though there's a lot of remote work going on, you'll still perhaps sometimes be required to go into the office. So if you're living perhaps in Wales and you need to go down to Edinburgh in Scotland, it's just too far to travel, and then they won't consider you. Okay, then once they've so now once you have your CV and your LinkedIn profile and you know where to find jobs, you need to know how to apply. And once you apply, because it's actually a numbers game, if you only apply for 10 roles with a not so good CV and a really incomplete LinkedIn profile, so in other words, not your best foot forward, not a professional approach to applying for this position, then you probably won't secure an interview. On the other hand, if you apply for 100 or 200 roles in a period of 1 or 2 weeks, then you should secure a few interviews. And that's what you want to do. You want to secure those interviews. Now, if you can't do the job as per the job description, don't waste anybody's time. You don't want to waste your time. You don't want to waste the recruiter's time. And more importantly, the company itself, you don't want to waste their time. Because they'll soon catch you out within the first interview, usually, that you can't do the job, and they'll just end it right there. And then you feel rejected. And maybe your ego has been squashed a little bit, and that's not what you want when you're applying for multiple jobs. You want to secure job interviews quickly, and then you want to ace some of those job interviews so that you get them to make you a written offer. Now, about your CV, 2 pages, straight to the point, highlighting your skills, your education, your certifications, and your ability to do the role. A lot of people, I find they only send 10 or 15 applications off with their CV in about a week period. And that's not going to secure you the interview. And when I ask them why they do that, they say they tailor their CV. So you look at the job description, you look at your CV, and then you try and match your CV with the roles advertised in the job description to actually prove that you can do it. That's going to take too long, far too long. And then you're going to have 5 or 6 different CVs out there. If you secure the role, you don't know which CV you use, so you can't prepare yourself accordingly. I use a different strategy, which we'll cover when you join me in bronze. About your LinkedIn profile. So as I mentioned, you can either, apply for a job half-heartedly, or you can do it perfectly. You do everything absolutely correct. So in other words, your application for the position is done 100% to the best of your ability. And that is what I try and mentor in. I show you what to do a 100%, just to improve your chances of securing the interview. And once you've applied for a job perfectly, you just need to repeat that. If you want to do apply for a job 40 or 50% perfect, and then go in a loop like that, you're not giving it your all. You're not giving it your best shot. Great. Let's say you've secured a few interviews, and that's what bronze has done. That's when we move on to our silver mentoring. So the goal with our silver mentoring is to ace your interview and your probation period. So as you know, when you secure a new role, either a permanent position or a consultant role or a contracting role, there will be this period of notification, very short notification, sometimes 24 hours. And then after a period of a month or so, maybe a week. And then only when you've gone through your probation period, which could be 3 months or 6 months, then there is a 1 month notice period on either side. So your job is only secure once you have gone through that notification period, because you don't want to have a scenario where Maybe you don't pick up the pace so quickly at the new role. Maybe you don't know the industry. Maybe you don't get along with one or two of the colleagues. Maybe you don't get along with your line manager. And they say, I'm sorry, but this didn't work out. We're going to have to let you go. Now, if that happens, you've got one of two options. Either you lie, which I really don't advocate, or you tell the truth. The lie means you delete that role from your CV, your LinkedIn profile, your life, and then you even fudge the gap if you want to in your CV, because now there's been a period of time where you gave notice at your previous role and you've stopped working there, and now you maybe took a week off or 2 weeks off, and you've been onboarded and you started for a month or so. You're going to have the 6-week gap in your CV. So I advocate that you always tell the truth in your application. If you don't get the role, you don't deserve the role. And if you're going to tell the truth, then they're going to say, well, why did you leave your last, what have you been doing since your last position? And you can say, well, I applied for this job, I secured the role, and I was onboarded, and after a month, they found out that I couldn't do the work, and then they asked me to go. How will that look? That really, really won't look well. So the alternative is to lie, which I don't advocate. So when you secure the role, you need to make it through your probation period. And that's why our silver mentoring is so important. Our silver mentoring has got also 3 training modules. The first one is interview preparation techniques. Then it's BAM productivity. And then it's goal setting. Any questions? No questions yet. Good. I hope everyone's still awake and still following me here. So with interview preparation techniques, when you move into silver, you've secured the interview. Now you've got to secure the role. You've got to get them to offer you that role so that you can consider it. So that's why I mentor you in interview preparation techniques. I've got a specific method and strategy with the tool that I use that is mind-blowing. It's really helped a lot of my students during the interview to ace their interview, because basically your interview could be 1 stage or 2 stages. These days, it's not often goes through to the 3rd stage, but when you've made it from the 1st stage to the 2nd stage, now that they can see you can do the actual work, they're going to ask you some technical challenging questions based on the job description, which you have in preparation for the interview. And they can ask you, if you do a Google search, it's probably thousands of questions that they can ask you. And if you prepare yourself through our methods, you will move from being nervous to being confident, even to be seen as a person of authority. And how do you become confident? You are fully prepared for the interview. You've done your research, you've done my strategy and completed it. And now you are ready to answer any and all questions out of any interviews for the rest of your career. So it's really, really powerful, the strategy that I teach. And then after you've aced your interview and they've offered you the role is always in their favor, the contract, the employment contract. So if you're a contractor or a permanent member of staff, you will still need to sign an employment contract. That contract is never in our favor, never. It's always in the company's favor. And I help my students renegotiate that contract. What have you got to lose? They can only say no, and you stick back to the original contract. So I've helped my students increase from 425 a day to 475 per day, from having to come into the office every day to working remotely and only coming in a few times a month, from not paying your transport fees to paying all your transport fees in and out of the office. So that was a successful negotiation on a contract, just as an example. So I assist you with that as well until the contract is very favorable in your terms. And that's why it helps to ace a few interviews so that you get 2 or 3 job offers. The one that you're not so keen on, you over negotiate. You really put, you really demand quite a lot, because if they want you to come and work there, you want to be remunerated accordingly. It's also very difficult to, there's 2 ways to apply for a job, either direct to the company through the HR department or through a recruitment agency. Now, if you're applying through a recruitment agency, they need to earn their money, their commission, their finding fee. So they will do the negotiating on your behalf, because you have a signed contract with the recruitment agency and they have a separate signed agreement with the client. And through my methods and my strategies, I will show you how to negotiate. So you can negotiate a lot tougher if there's a recruitment agent. Through an HR department, not so much. You can't, you can't be so hard on them, because word will get back to the interviewer that you're quite a tough negotiator, and they don't really want to see that. Okay, moving forward, once you've secured the role and you've signed the employment contract and you've got your start date, you need to prepare yourself so that you become productive and proactive right from day one. And that's how you're going to get through your notice period. Shamina, how does one explain a career gap, trauma, health issues, raising a child? Let me answer that quickly. I don't mind taking on questions right away. Thanks for that, Shamina. Let's see if I can share that on my screen. Yes. Okay, great. You must have no gaps in your CV, bottom line. So from when you left school all the way to right now today, you need to put there what you've been doing all the time. The reason why is if you show gaps in your CV, then they wonder, what have you been doing during that time? Worst case scenario, you've been in jail. Or secondly, you're a couch potato and you've just lay on the couch and played with your PlayStation, Fortnite with your friends, you know, eating chips and just going out, having a lot of fun. And anybody who's serious about their career won't take a gap. You know, you'll take a short holiday, but you want to elevate your career all the time until they don't care that you've got a gap in your CV and you become headhunted. So you will need to explain that. And I can't give exact advice now how to explain it because it's all different situation. But if it's a trauma, you can just state there, gap in your CV. So you have the role that you worked at, your job title, the dates, what you did. And then it's your next role. And in between that, you had some time off. I would put a one-liner there with the truth and saying maternity leave, hospitalized, COVID, upskilling, anything like that. But you must put it in your CV. Great. Okay. Any other questions? You can come through with them. Now, so what I'm entering in BAM productivity is to be proactive. Now, what is proactive? It's the opposite of reactive. So if you're starting to work and they say, please do this, there's a ticket that's just been escalated, you need to figure this out, or do this, you know, it's basically killing fires. And you can't really work like that. You need to be proactive. In other words, you need to, for instance, let me take this as an example. You start work on your first day and you have a meeting with your line manager and you say, what would you like me to do this week? That's not really good. That's very reactive. And I mentor that during your, through your career, the most important thing is to get your line manager to like you a lot. Because if it's the end of your probation period, he or she will give you a second chance. We'll have a little performance appraisal. This is where we see you improving in. We'll give you another gap. If you don't get your line manager to like you a lot, then, you know, they don't care about you. And during your probation, they won't give you a second chance. And they're just like, we're sorry, but we'll have to see you go. Now, there's certain ways that you can get your line manager to like you. And one of them is to be proactive. So in other words, don't say, I need this and I need this and I want this and give me this and I need some time off and can I go to the dentist and can I get an increase or, you know, can I put in an expense claim or an overtime or anything like that? No. Don't be a taker. Rather be a giver and give and give and give and give, because there is a time when during my mentoring, I'll show you when you do need to take two things during your, your role at your current company. So now, you know, you want to be able to plan properly before your first day at work. Plan. So you've got the job description. You can break the job description down and present it to your line manager, and you say, you know, this is what you've asked me to do. I suggest that I do it this way. I suggest that I work on these tasks, the first few. That is the proactive way to do it. What does it mean to be highly productive? Well, either you work 35 hours, 37 and a half, or 40 hours a week. I don't know anyone who works more than 40 hours as your core time. I know about overtime. But what you need to do is you need to make sure that you're busy all the time. Basically, in my view, is if you've got to work a 40-hour week and you only work 35 hours, that to me is stealing. That's theft. You're stealing the time, you know, you're getting paid for work that you haven't done. That's not right. So you need to make sure that you're highly productive for the entire period of time and that you produce quality results in the time that they're expected. So that's what I mentor in BAM productivity. Let's take another question. So this one is, from Shamina again. Shamina, you're asking lots of questions. Can a BA work remotely? Most definitely, most definitely. Like when I used to work, there was no such thing as working remotely. You had to be really, really senior, and then one day in a week you could work. This is pre-pandemic time. These days, during the pandemic, everybody worked at home. And now a lot of roles that are offered, it's called hybrid. So you either, you can work remote or in the office or hybrid. So a lot of the roles are hybrid, where you need to come in maybe once a week, maybe once a month, just to attend some meetings. But for the rest, you can work in the comfort of your own home. There are some pure remote jobs, yes, where you don't have to come into the office. So that's a really good question. Thank you for asking that. Any other questions you can just ask, and I'll see if I can get through them before the Q&A session at the end of our 45 minutes. All right, the third part of silver is goal setting. It's very important to have goals and to set goals. Otherwise, you'll just be lost, just ambling through your career in your comfort zone, not getting out of your comfort zone, not getting any challenges. So we set goals. Now, with the right mentor, anybody with a few months experience and a certificate or two in business analysis can achieve their long-term goals at the end of 3 years, not 5 years or 10 years. That's just too long. Life will happen. Things will change, and you won't have those goals, and you won't be able to achieve those goals. So I set with my students long-term goals of at the end of 3 years from now. I set life goals with you and career goals. Where do you want to live? Do you want to be married, have kids? What type of car do you want to drive? Do you want a property portfolio? Would you like to run your own business? Those type of life goals. And then we set career goals for the end of 3 years. What job title, which industry, which niche would you like to work in 3 years' time? And then we set medium-term goals. These are 1 year goals. Where do you need to be in 1 year from now to know you're on track to achieving your 3 year goals? And in your 1 year goals, we set a lot of things. And our gold mentoring, which we're going to get into just now, revolves a lot around these 1 year career goals that we set. Now, let's say that you're applying for your dream job in 3 years' time. It's a senior business analyst contractor working for a bank, specializing in process automation with robotic process automation, process improvement with a robotic process automation. And you're in a niche, and now you're applying for your dream job at £900 per day. Now, take two scenarios. One scenario is the other people in the interview have got all the certification and you've got none. You've only got practical experience. Now, what is the difference between theoretical knowledge and practical experience? I've got over 500 students on bronze. I would say 98% of them have got university degrees. A lot of them have got master's degrees or MBAs or doctorates. So you have spent a lot of time gaining theoretical knowledge. You could have worked for those 5 years or 7 years and had been way ahead of the curve, been in that senior BA position already, earning £600, but you chose instead to become highly educated. I advocate that as well. That's really good. But now your degree that you studied most of the time, isn't applicable in your role as a senior business analyst. So you need to gain theoretical knowledge. The only way you can find out what to do at work is to have studied it. You can either study it via theoretical knowledge, in other words, completing certification courses, or you can do it with on-the-job practical experience, which is hand-me-down knowledge. What's the difference between the two? If you were to go and study certification courses, for instance, the CBAP with the IIBA, or with the Diploma in Business Analysis with the BCS, then you gain the most recent strategies and methods in their most recently updated curriculum. So you're right on the leading edge of what's going on in business analysis. You'll study everything. It'll be a complete study guide to lay the foundations so that you can build your career upon that. If you don't follow the theoretical knowledge route and you just do hand-me-down knowledge, who are you getting this knowledge from? Where have they got it? Maybe they also received it with hand-me-down knowledge. Maybe they attended a course 12 years ago, and the theoretical knowledge has changed so dramatically in 12 years that the methods that they apply don't apply in the real life environment anymore. So I highly advocate gaining the theoretical knowledge and the practical experience. Now, coming back to where I was with your 1-year goal, I advocate that you gain all your theoretical knowledge in your first 1 year of setting your goals. The reason why is so that when you come to your end of your 3rd year, you've at least got all the theoretical knowledge and at least 2 years practical experience based on that theoretical knowledge. You might have another 2 or 3 years before that and some transferable skills as well that you've had at past roles. But it's very important to gain that theoretical knowledge and to build on that as well. And as well, you know, it helps you to secure job interviews. Somebody with a diploma in business analysis applying for a junior BA or a BA position where you need 2 years experience, they will be favored, you know, to secure that interview over somebody with no certification. Now, one thing I need to say, I don't teach anything business analysis related. I've got 7 years experience. I'm a senior certified experienced business analyst. So I do know, so if somebody does ask me technical questions, I will be able to answer them. But there are so many authorized training providers out there that are training in business analysis in a very structured fashion. And they, you know, with a previous company of mine, Netwin Solutions, I was an authorized reseller for Novell. So in other words, to be able to mentor in the current curriculum from the BCS or IRBA, I need to take my company through certain processes and procedures and sign documents, and I need to mentor and train students. That's not my passion. I have been a teacher and a lecturer and a mentor before, you know, teaching curriculum of business analysis and networking and other various subjects that I've taught. It's not my interest right now in my time of my life where I am now. So what we've done is we've formed strategic alliance partnerships with many authorized training providers. There's 3 that teach the BCS curriculum, and I can offer you massive discounts through our company, through our partnership, up to 75% of the advertised costs. So I don't mentor in anything business analysis. I mentor you how to elevate your career quickly. That's what I mentor in. Okay, I see there are no more questions going in. So let's move on. So that is my silver. So you can see from bronze, you complete that, it leads you into silver. And that also, but some people just, you know, want the whole package straight away. I've been mentoring since April 2019. I've had a lot of students. I rely heavily on the feedback. You know, what has worked, what hasn't worked, how can I improve? And therefore I improve my courses and my my training and my mentoring and my curriculum through the feedback loop. And I found that a lot of the students, you know, they just want to elevate through their career quickly and gain, you know, competitive advantage over their competitors. So to leverage their education and their skills and their certification. And some of the students just say, whatever you've got, I want to buy. We used to have 17 products and services in 2020, but since launching bronze in January of 2020 and silver in February of 2020, we've now gone through and we're actually on version 4 of bronze already. And we're busy heavily developing version 5, which is part of the gold curriculum, which I'm busy recording. Today, I just recorded 4 sessions for our membership portal. All right, let's talk prices. Bronze is 1 year access to our membership portal. So when we do release 5, we'll pop that into the bronze membership portal. You'll gain access to that as well moving forward. Bronze is £127 for 1 year access. That includes a 30-minute career strategy session with me, BAM CV, BAM network, BAM position, and BAM photo. So you take some selfies, send them to us, and our photographer converts it into a high-quality image that you can use on LinkedIn, Teams, Zoom, Slack, Google, all those different applications. Right, silver starts from $597 up, and gold, you need to set up a call with me and we'll discuss gold and the different pricing options and the payment options that we've got. We do now also take payment options for our gold. Let me quickly take you through gold. So with gold, the goal is, again, as all my mentoring packages have got specific goals, this goal is to double your income in 90 days. Now, it's quite a bold statement, And obviously you need to, pass certain criteria. But if you do meet the criteria and I do take you on as my student, then that's my aim. I see my success in your success. If you don't make a success out of gold, then I failed and I don't feel successful neither. Gold is a 3 months mentoring. So it's really, really intense. There's over 58 assignments that you need to complete. You basically get access to our membership portal. So with bronze, it's through the membership portal. Silver is still live with me until, like bronze, I've done it over 100 times. And then I created the modules. And now everyone just goes to the online training and has their career strategy session with me. With gold, we launched in August last year. I took 5 students at a time, made sure that I had some case studies, some success stories, and some video testimonials. And now tomorrow, 1st of June, we're launching, can't wait, version 2 of our revamped gold. Now, gold is also through a membership portal. It consists of 4 pillars. Each pillar is 3 weeks. So you complete 1 pillar, you receive a reward, pillar 2, another reward, 3 reward, and pillar 4, you get your certificate of completion. So it's very rewards based. Pillar 1 is all about the mindset. I found that a lot of my students, they don't have the right mindset for this. They're a bit nervous and all the risk and leaving your permanent job and going into contracting and things like that. It's quite a high risk, and I know exactly how to mitigate that risk because I've done it many times before, go from contract to contract to contract. So if you follow my strategies, then we take just about all of the risk out of it. So it's very much about the mindset. A lot of my students, when they join up, they've got the imposter syndrome. I'm only earning £38,000 per annum now. How can I apply for a job at £450 outside IR35? I'm not worth it. So it's the mindset. It's to sort that mindset out. It's also a lot about success. I try my utmost to make a success of gold with you so that you can really elevate your career and achieve your 1-year goal. Our main focus is on the 3-month goal and the 1-year goal. And so that's about mindset. So I want to know from you, what does success mean to you? So there's a few assignments that go around success. What is your purpose in life? Why are you here? Do you want to leave a legacy? Do you want, what do you want to do? Do you want to be wealthy? And I work with you so that we can clearly define what success means to you. What is your purpose in life? And then it ends, pillar 1 ends after 3 weeks with a vision board, with your 10 images, 6 goals, 4 related rewards, so that you can display it along with your 10 rules for success. You can print them out, laminate them, and have it in front of you. And it's got words of affirmations. And it's just to cheer you on and to get you through the mentoring course, because it is quite daunting. 58 assignments is quite daunting, and some of my students struggle. So there's many ways that you can mentor. You can have, here is the assignment, you go off and do it. Or here is, let me redo your CV totally from scratch. That's done for you. But our campaign with gold is done with you. So when you need to do an assignment, we have created these 2 fictional characters. One is Ola and one is John. Ola is from Nigeria. John is from the United States of America. Ola is more senior and John is more junior. And now through all these completed assignments from bronze and silver and gold, sorry, not bronze, silver and gold, these assignments that our students have completed, we've taken all the content, anonymized it, and put it under Ola and put it under John. So that is real feedback from completed assignments from our students. So when I mentor you and I show you how to complete an assignment, I show you John's completed assignment, Ola's completed assignment. I take you through the assignment itself. And then I make sure that that you grasp the assignment before you complete it. A lot of the work I do with you as well. So the refining of your CV. So you'll need to rewrite your CV yourself on one of our ATS modern, fresh ATS compliant templates. When you finish your CV, you send it to me and I finalize it. It's not back and forth and back and forth. I make sure that it's perfect. There's enough white space on it. Grammar, spell checking, enough use of industry-related keywords, achievements, transferable skills, that they're all correctly highlighted. Because in my mentoring with gold, I make sure that you laser focused on your 1-year goal. A lot of my students, when I see their CV and their LinkedIn profile, they've studied business analysis, but they've also studied project management and agile and Power BI, which data analysts use, and Python, which software developers use. And I'm like, where are you going in your career? You've got no focus. So I assist my students through the goal setting mentoring to be laser focused on what they want. And then we stay laser focused on those certifications to assist you to achieve your goals. So don't go and do other certifications. All right. We have another sip of this. So how it works is, with gold, it's a 3 months mentoring. There are 3 1-hour sessions with me live on Zoom. You can split it up into 6 half-an-hour sessions. Some of my students do that as well. And basically, so it's an onboarding session, if you like, half an hour or an hour. The rest is through our membership portal. When you come to a certain stage, I'm not going to release too much IP because the entire curriculum for bronze, silver, and gold is mine. I created it, nobody else in the world. It's not copy and paste. It's not plagiarized from anybody. It's really, really intense. So there's a lot of intellectual property behind this. If you want to find out more in details about my course, please go to our website. It's bamasterminds.com. The top right, it says book. You can just schedule in a session. You can have a career strategy session, absolutely free. Send in your CV, connect with me on LinkedIn. Let's have a session. Let's figure out your goals, where you are currently in your career, where you'd like to be, and perhaps I can get you there. You're under no obligation to buy any of our products or services when you do set up one of these calls. It's just to get to know you, to increase my network, and then you can rely on our network as well when you have questions. Okay. Anything else about gold? I think that's about it. So it's a membership portal, sessions with me, really, really good outcomes. And we've put over 20 students through version 1 of our gold. And through that, I've got lots of feedback. At the end of every pillar, I ask my students, what do you like? What didn't you like? And I mix and mash and change and do research and add to the curriculum and remove things that people don't want, because gold is all about the journey. When we meet, you're at your current point, the as is, as we should say, right? And then we figure out where you'd like to be through goal setting. And then we figure out your to be. Now, my students are often in pain. They don't want to be where they are. They want to earn more money. They want to pay off their debt. They want to buy that house. They want to start a property portfolio. They're in pain, or they want pleasure. They want to be able to take off holidays often, send their kids to private school. So they want their journey from start to finish to go as quick as possible, as painless as possible. So initially, the goal was 6 months. And that was just too painful. So I've condensed it, taken out what people don't want, revitalized it, and we can put it through in 3 months. That's for somebody that, you'll need to spend 3 to 4 hours per week. If you sign up for gold, you can do it at any time, in the evenings, in the afternoon. Just submit your assignments on time. But we also have an accelerator course. So some of my students, they're between contracts. They're not in a role. We can take you through the entire gold, including the 58 assignments and the 3 Zoom sessions with me in 6 weeks. 6 weeks for the same price. But then you'll need to put in 8 hours per week. So if you're working, that's not going to work. So if you're between contracts or if you're between roles, then you can do the accelerator program, and within 6 weeks. So my goal with the 3 month period is to have on the month 3 a signed contract, employment contract for you to start at a certain start date. That is the goal. Within 3 months or on month 3, you have that signed employment contract. Okay, great. We've got a YouTube channel, Business Analyst Masterminds, LinkedIn group, LinkedIn profile. We've got a Facebook presence, LinkedIn and Twitter, but I don't really use them yet. We're just posting to slowly put some content there. But LinkedIn, set up a call if you want to have a chat with me, and we'll get you started on bronze as soon as possible. Okay, thank you. Let me see if anybody has any questions. One of the questions somebody might ask, a recording of this. Some people might have joined late. Some people might, some people couldn't have stayed to the end. So you can come straight back to this link and go and you can watch the replay. You can actually watch the replay now. You can stop and watch the replay. I've got a lot of events. I try and do 2 or 3 a month. This month we've only done 1 because I'm really developing the Gold membership portal and focusing on making those videos. But there are heaps of recordings. If you just search for me and you go look at my past events, you can find out lots of free content. I've also got 2 more that I've done specifically on Gold. Oh, I forgot about Impact. So once you finish Gold and you've secured that very lucrative contract at a day rate, and you're new to contracting and you need my support while you're onboarding, while you're going through your probation period, to ask questions and things like that, we do offer BAM Impact, which is on a month-to-month basis. It's £297 a month. You can sign up anytime, give notice at any time, and some of my students have taken me up on that. Really boost you into your contract period. One more thing I want to mention about Gold is Gold are my VIP students. You've got 4-hour turnaround time on any questions you ask me. Not, I'm going to give you an answer, but the answer within 4 hours. We're on WhatsApp. Nobody of my students, bronze or silver, is on WhatsApp with me. My Gold students are on WhatsApp with me, asking me questions. Mark, I've sent you an email. Please, I need help in my current role. I also, during Gold, I support you of any issues that you've got in your current role. So if you've got any technical issues, you need help with process mapping or workshops or anything that you deal with in your current role, I then mentor you in that as well, completely included in the price. All right, I'm just going to keep talking. I love talking. I'm just going to keep talking until somebody wants to type me a question, and we'll see how we go. Right, so the idea is to either choose to start with bronze, and then just to secure a few job interviews quickly, following my methods and my 8-step proven strategy. And then once you've done that, then you're going to secure interviews. Then you can sign up for the entire silver package or just the interview preparation techniques mentoring. It's £100, including my strategy and a very big assignment that could take between 4 and 12 hours to complete. You send the assignment to me, I go through the assignment, and that's all before your interview. Interview preparation techniques also includes a mock interview or an interview rehearsal with me for half an hour, where I'll grill you on the training modules that I've sent you that show you how to prepare yourself for the interview, to make sure that you've got your opening statement. So, Shamima, tell me a little bit about yourself. Or, Silas, why do you actually want to work for us? Or Katika, why should we give you the role and not give somebody else the role? And some technical questions. I'll go through that and I'll make sure that you're completely set up and completely ready for the interview, because it's nice to have a rehearsal. I was never offering this. This is the feedback loop. Somebody said, I'd love an interview rehearsal. Once 3 people had asked me, I created the training modules, BAM, interview preparation techniques mentoring, had received an add-on of the rehearsal, and it's been really powerful. And come on, $100, that's not a lot of money to get all that value for interview preparation techniques. I don't mentor you in only how you can ace your upcoming interview, but any interview for the rest of your career, even if it's project management, product owner, scrum master, software developer, solution architect, doesn't matter. You can apply these same principles and strategies that I teach to make sure that you ace any interview. All right, great. I see we've still got quite a people that are following me here. I don't see any more questions. If you do ask a question, then I will come back to the session afterwards, and on LinkedIn, I will give an answer. I can also connect directly with you. You can send me a LinkedIn message. Please don't hesitate to ask me any questions. And please go ahead now and book me for that free 30-minute career strategy session. Top of our website, bmmasterminds.com. Book me in at a convenient date and time for you, and we'll discuss your personalized journey, which is best for you. Should you start with bronze? What are the advantages of buying bronze and silver together? There's discount for that. or should you just go for the entire gold package straight away, which includes bronze and silver and all of gold, and then you're my VIP student. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. We are going to have 2 more of these sessions in June, and I look forward to seeing you on Zoom in your career strategy session. Thank you, and take care. Bye-bye.